Just the idea of legacy fires me up. Because legacy is about your stories. It's about your wisdom. It's about the footprint that you leave. And every day you are living and creating your legacy just by the choices you make. Do you choose to sit and watch TV, or do you pick up and read a good book? Do you take a class to learn something new? Do you persevere when you could give up? Every one of these choices is writing another line in your legacy story. So a lot of people have asked me, Ann, why are you so fired up about legacy? Frankly, I've asked myself why I'm so fired up about legacy. And I've come to understand that an awareness of my own legacy will help me get to the end of my life with few regrets. And I think the other part of it is that both of my parents have passed away. And I wish I had more of them. I wish I had more of their stories. But it's too late. And so I focus on my legacy now. My father passed away when I was only 8 years old. So I didn't know him very well. But I do have a couple of really good memories about him, like how he loved to cook out. He had the most gigantic barbecue pit. Even in the dead of winter, he'd be out there in his short sleeves flipping his famous cheese stuffed burgers. I also remember his beautiful handwriting. He had an artistic signature. I've sometimes thought, I wish I had a handwritten letter from him to me. I don't have that, but I do have his fountain pen. People say to me, well, you know, I don't know about this whole legacy thing. And then I think about my mother. She passed away almost 25 years to the day after Daddy. She was diagnosed in October with ALS, and she passed away the following May. I spent the first half of that precious time in total denial, and the second half juggling to meet her growing needs. We were extremely close. We knew how much we loved each other. But I missed some great opportunities. Like I've forgotten what her voice sounds like. And it would have been easy to make a tape, even in 1985, before we all had a production studio on our phones. And I missed the chance to ask her more questions about her life, about her childhood, and about her hopes and dreams. We think, well, we're close. We know people's stories. But noted psychologist Dr. Robert Littlefield says stories change over time, that we need to revisit them, because as we change, our stories change. Scientific American did a study, and they found that 60% of all conversations are about, guess, me, our favorite topic. And there's actually scientific evidence that shows that talking about ourselves activates the same part of our brain as sex, cocaine, and good food. So it's no wonder that we love to talk about ourselves. And so it's perfect for us to share our stories. People have asked me, well, so maybe I'm kind of getting on the bandwagon about legacy, but what do I do? And I think it starts by realizing that you have an opportunity to make memories. Maybe you love sports. How can you make a memory out of that with your kids or your grandkids, your nieces or nephews? Gardening, make that a memory. And it can be simple things like making a recording. If you're into scrapbooking, or get up in the attic, get all those boxes down of all those pictures and all those tapes. Get them organized, get them digitized, and put them up in the cloud. Or you can do like Rose did. Rose was in her 80s when she learned she only had a couple of months to live. So she decided right then and there, I am going to create and plan a memorial celebration. So she made an appointment to meet with the funeral director. And he immediately got out his list and started asking questions. And she said, "Excuse me, but I do not have any time to waste. So please just listen, because I know exactly what I want, and it's going to be a celebration. And I want it to be at the Ritz, and I want it to be 2 to 3 months after I pass away. It'll be an invitation-only affair, and I already have the list, along with all the details of how I want it to be. The music, the food, the drinks, the decorations." And she said, "In the time I have remaining, I'm going to make a basket for each person I've invited. And into it, I'm going to pour my love and my memories and mementos of our special times together." The director was touched. He said, "Rose, how do you think you'll be remembered?" And she said, "You know, I don't really know, because I can only see my life from my point of view. But when everyone gathers for my memorial celebration and they share their unique memories of our times together, then," she said, "then you'll see the tapestry that is me and my life, because I'm woven from all of those precious threads of our entwined lives together." Rose gave herself an amazing gift, and she gave an amazing gift to the people that she loves. Now, we can't all do what Rose did, or maybe we don't want to do what Rose did, but I think many of us can do what a friend of mine does. Bill has been sharing pieces of himself for years. Every year on their birthday, he writes a letter to his children. And in it, he shares stories about himself at that very same age. He has created a bond and a connection with his kids that they will have forever, because they know him, the true person that he really is. You may be thinking, well, I think I'm a little too young to think about legacy or to think about regrets. And I think that we all think we have many years to live, so we procrastinate. We don't tell our friends how special they are to us. We don't share that hard-won wisdom with people who could benefit. I'm guessing that's what my father thought, that he had years to live, that he was too young. But guess what? Daddy was only 42 when he died. I believe that sharing legacy is like a Mobius. It's giving and it's receiving and it's connecting at this really authentic level. Because I believe that when we hear other people's stories, we stop separating from them. We stop demonizing them. And when we hear stories from our elders, we can't believe that they were ever marginalized in society because of the wisdom that they have to share. So I have an idea, and I hope you'll join me. Let's start a movement right here today to share a story today. Because if everybody in this auditorium just recorded and shared one story each week, in a year we'd have 18,000 stories. So many that perhaps journalists could no longer report about the anger and the fear and the hatred in our world, because their broadcasts and their articles would be filled with these magnificent human stories. So that's it. My invitation to you is to get fired up, join the movement, get out your phones, start recording, and share a story today. Thank you.